All right. Okay. So let's just settle into our meditation posture. And if you are sitting on a chair and your feet are down, so make sure they're in a parallel position. Perhaps your feet are on a cushion or a little footstool. And other than that, if you're sitting in the regular cross-legged position, you can have a couple of cushions underneath both knees if your hips are tight. Hello, Apala. And a cushion, definitely you need something underneath your sit bones to help raise your, just to help raise your hips up a little bit. Hands in the meditation mudra with the thumbs touching, the right hand nestled in the left. And we want our pelvic bowl to be upright, not tipping from side to side, so make sure your sit bones are evenly placed on whatever surface you're sitting on. And make sure it's nice and stable, that you're not sinking into your couch or your comfy chair. Imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. And imagine that someone is above you or behind you, very gently lengthening your spine. And your head is slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue, the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. Let's just bring our awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the nose, the cheeks and the area around the mouth. Welcome, Victor. Take your attention to the back of the head and relax the scalp there. And just notice as you do that your ears and your temples and the inner ear and the jaw. Just all relaxing. So now bring your attention to the base of the skull, the occipital bone. Relax that area there, your neck, shoulders, upper thoracic, and chest, and belly, limbs, hands, fingers, feet, and toes. And let's just bring our mind to the breath. And as you're breathing in, notice the sensation of the cool air flowing in through the nostrils, slightly warmer air as you're exhaling. Let's just bring to mind all the people of our life, the ones we love, the ones who support us, who stand beside us, behind us, who've got our backs. Then there's those ones we don't get on quite so well with, so we irritate them, they irritate us. We don't trust them, and vice versa. And then there's the strangers, those people we're pretty indifferent to. But yet we put them all in these different categories, and yet they are all the same. We should, but we could try and make an effort to try and think about seeing them equally from the point of view of they're all wanting to be happy and somehow not managing ever to quite find happiness or satisfaction. Their wish to avoid suffering and constantly running into it. And they all have this unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. It's deep inside us. It always has been, it always will be. This potential of us. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. This is a psychological process we're engaging in. And we can change all the negativity in our mind by putting positive thoughts there. So the first of the 4 opponent powers in this practice is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being today, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of the body or the speech. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past actions. Having harmed others, we're going to necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we all know what suffering's about. We don't want to invite any more of it into our life. So logically, we would want to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as our future suffering. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, any attachment that are the cause of why we harm others, and think, I am sick of this suffering. So whom can I turn to? What can I do about it? So here we come to the power of reliance. And we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not asking the Buddha to forgive us. We're actually wanting to use his methods to heal ourselves. So in this case, Vajrasattva. So visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can imagine this is the mind of your Lama, your teacher, your trusted mentor, manifesting in this way for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. As this brilliant, radiant, beautiful face and long eyes, peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and for all the people of your life. He has no judgmental thoughts towards you. He just meets you where you're at, accepts you for exactly who you are. He has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. He's wearing a 5-pointed crown embedded with jewels. And remember, this is all light. And he's wearing jewelry around his neck, around his arms, around his waist and ankles. He also has a beautiful aura around his head and his body. And he's wearing these silken scarves, and they're almost like harem pants, but it's all silk in the Royal Indian style, and it's sort of billowing in the wind. But it's light. This is all light. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So we think first of the people that we have harmed and try and develop compassion for them. This is a sense of wishing for them to not suffer. And so then we come to the people who have harmed us, and this is a little bit more difficult. So you want to have compassion for them, also because they are going to suffer as a result of the harm that they've caused you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is doing the practice of recitation of the mantra, purification of the body, the speech and the mind. So just imagine, first of all, we'll do the body. Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a shower head or a hose, a waterfall, and pouring very forcefully from his heart. It arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps coming and forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Satame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahozamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahazamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Sitame, Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahozamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Sitame, Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahozamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Sitame, Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahozamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Sitame, Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahozamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Sitame, Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahozamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of the speech. And again, Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So as I've said before, I've heard Lama Rinpoche say it's almost like it kind of comes out of the top of the body, almost as if you had a hat on your head that got kind of blown off by the force of all this, the negativities of the speech leaving you. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta Mebowa, Sawasidi Mimpayata Sawa Kama Sitame, Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahozamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Mebowa, Sutokaya Mebowa, Supokaya Mebowa, Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. How amazing would that be? As soon as someone hears your voice, it benefits their mind. That's something to aspire to. So the next is a purification of the mind. And now Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just like when you walk into a room and you flick on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness in the room, doesn't it? So in the same way here, the moment the light from Guru Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart, all the darkness in the mind, all the negativity in the mind is instantly dispelled. All the attachment and neediness and anger and depression and anxiety, and jealousy and resentment and grudges, bitterness, all of this instantly dispelled as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida me boa sutokaya me boa supokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawasiti me piyata sawa kama sita me Siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So think again, delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So you can imagine this time light and nectar pouring into you from Guru Vajrasattva's heart, or you can visualize the previous 3 visualizations of the body, speech and mind, maybe a couple of mantras for each. And however you do it, imagine Guru Vajrasattva sending light. This light fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So feel now completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So here we come to the power of resolve, and this is a really crucial part of this process, is to make a decision to not harm with our body, speech and mind. And preferably never again, but we know this is not realistic because we have habits and we're human. And we've got habits that have lasted us for lifetimes. So we try our best and we make a decision We make just, as Lama Rinpoche says, everything exists on the tip of the wish. So you make an aspiration to try not to harm with our body and our speech, and try not to harm ourselves with our mind. So think of something, maybe something you'd like to work on, some habit of speech, some habit of thought, some negative self-talk. And just think, you might want to catch yourself and then catch it. Say, okay, so I'm not going to do this for another 10 seconds or another 30 seconds or 50 seconds. So make it something doable that's going to work for you. And make a promise to ourselves, but make it easily doable, so you don't break that promise to yourself. We don't want to lie to ourselves about, well, I'm not going to do this again for 6 weeks. But that just becomes like a New Year's Eve promise. So something that's doable. I mean, and the easiest thing I've heard Venerable Rabina say, just go to bed at night, make the promise before you go to bed. I'm not going to do this for 8 hours. And you wake up in the morning and you won't have. And then just rejoice. It's a very important part of this process, is to rejoice at your progress. Okay. So Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us, and wanting to merge with your mind, he melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And Lama Yeshe calls this, well, he used to call this union, oneness. So next, Lama Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all things as being empty, not existing from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way we perceive things, the way they appear to us, may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy you've created this evening by doing this purification to all living beings, to all the people of your life, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just recite the long life prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the 3 jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far-distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Cherub, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. There we go. Gone like a dream. And I wanted to thank all of you for doing the practice last night. Mary said you did a wonderful job, all of you. Everybody took turns, so that's really wonderful to hear. Fantastic. Well done. Thank you so much.